Welcome to Bible Answers Now. I'm glad you're here with us. Life as a young adult can be exciting, challenging, and full of change. Sometimes all we need is a word of encouragement or inspiration to remind us of our strength, purpose, and the promises that God has for us. Whether you're navigating relationships, figuring out your career, or just seeking peace amid a busy life, the Bible offers timeless wisdom that speaks directly to your heart. Let's explore some inspirational Bible verses that can guide and uplift you through this season of your life. These verses aren't just words on a page. They're promises from God that can transform how we live, think, and grow. One of the first verses that comes to mind is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." When God spoke these words to the Israelites, they were in exile, far from home, in a difficult situation. But God assured them that He had a plan for their future, a plan that was full of hope, not despair. For young adults like you, this verse reminds us that God's plans for our lives are always filled with purpose. No matter where you are right now, trust that He's guiding your steps. Take a moment to reflect. Where do you feel uncertain? Ask God to show you His plans for you, even if they're not clear yet. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. Next, let's turn to Philippians 6-7. "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." We live in a world full of worries, relationships, finances, and so much more. Paul, writing to the church in Philippi, encourages us not to be consumed by anxiety, but to bring everything to God in prayer. The beauty of this passage is that God promises peace, a peace that goes beyond human understanding. It's not the absence of challenges, but the presence of His peace amidst them. Try this. When you feel anxious, pause, take a deep breath, and offer a quick prayer. Ask God to give you His peace. It might not change the situation immediately, but it can change how you respond to it. Romans 8:28 is another powerful verse for young adults, especially when life feels unpredictable. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose. This verse teaches us that no matter how chaotic life may seem, God is at work behind the scenes, orchestrating everything for our good. When things don't go as planned, when you face setbacks or disappointments, remember this verse. God is using even the tough moments for your growth and His glory. Take a moment to journal about a time when something difficult later led to growth or a positive change in your life. This reflection will remind you of God's faithfulness in your past and give you hope for the future. In 2 Timothy 1:7, Paul writes to young Timothy, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." Young adults often wrestle with fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not measuring up. But this verse is a reminder that fear does not come from God. Instead, He gives us the power to overcome obstacles, the love to guide us through relationships, and the self-control to make wise decisions. When fear begins to rise, remind yourself of this truth. Say it out loud. God has given me a spirit of power, love, and self-control. Claim this promise and let it fill you with courage to face whatever challenges come your way. Another verse that holds great significance for young adults is Matthew 6:33. "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." In the midst of figuring out careers, relationships, and personal dreams, it's easy to prioritize everything else. But Jesus calls us to seek Him first, to focus on His kingdom and His righteousness above all else. When we make Him our first priority, everything else falls into place. Try setting aside time each day for quiet reflection, prayer, or Bible study. In those moments, make your relationship with God your top priority and trust that He will provide everything you need. Proverbs 3:5-6 offers another simple yet profound truth. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." As young adults, we often want to figure everything out on our own. But these verses remind us that trusting God is the key to navigating life's twists and turns. There will be moments when you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. Trust that God knows the way, even when you don't. If you're facing a tough decision, take time to pray for guidance and lean on God's wisdom instead of relying on your own understanding. Lastly, let's consider Isaiah 40:31. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Life can feel draining, especially when you're constantly on the go. But this verse offers a beautiful promise. When we wait on the Lord, when we trust in His timing, He will renew our strength. Like an eagle soaring high, we'll rise above the challenges. You may be in a season where it feels like you're running on empty. Take time to rest in God's presence and allow Him to replenish your energy, your hope, and your joy. As you journey through the season of life, remember that these verses are not just comforting words. They are promises from God that you can hold on to. He is with you, guiding you, strengthening you, and filling you with His peace. So, what's one area of your life where you need to claim God's promise today? Share it with us in the comments. We'd love to hear how these verses are speaking to you. Remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are not alone. God's plans for you are filled with hope, and He is walking beside you every step of the way. Thank you for joining us at Bible Answers Now. We hope you were inspired and encouraged. We think you'll be blessed by our next video, so be sure to check it out. May God bless you and your loved ones, and may His peace fill your heart.